Welcome back to JB Reviews. Happy New Year. 2023 is here. And for one of us in the world, we're not having a good start to this year. Now, I have said in the past that Ram's frames are not as strong as Ford frames. I only based that off of what one of my friends told me. He did tell me whenever he goes to buy new tow trucks, whenever he modifies them, because he likes to have a crew cab configuration. And so with Ford and Ram, they don't really have anything in the F550 class for him to do that. So what he has to do is he has to cut the frames. Well, the place that he uses says they don't ever recommend cutting a Ram frame because they're just not that strong. But they will cut a Ford frame and guarantee that they won't have any problems. So in this video, we're gonna break down how this happened. Now, I don't know this guy, but I know enough to know what happened. I have to give a quick special shout out here. Jared Bowman, aka J-Rod, and Sam Goodman, aka Supporters of Sanity, sent me this article. I didn't even know about it, and I guess it started to go viral on Facebook. And so the owner was talking about this. I'm going to read from thedrive.com because that's where I got this information from. But the owner said he was driving down the road, and as he was driving, he heard some creaks inside the truck. He pulled over, checked it, made sure everything's good, didn't see anything. Then he drove a little bit further, and then he said he heard a crack basically from the bottom of the truck. Now, in the original Facebook post, he did mention the owner. He did say that the truck was not overloaded. But the Mopar factory warranty provider disagreed, which is basically Stellantis, because that truck still looks like it's still in a factory warranty unless he drove a lot of miles. But if he's within the 3-year 36, he should be fine. But based off of the information, it's not covered. Now, the owner did say that he's basically hauled this camper about 25,000 miles across the Rocky Mountains, the Pacific Northwest, and then in Baja. It had always performed great up until the incident, with the diesel engine pulling strong despite carrying such a hefty slide-in camper. So here's what you have to understand. Those truck campers have a lot of weight. And I did see in the comment section of one of the articles that someone did say the center of gravity of that camper is probably the biggest culprit to that frame cracking. The quoted repair for this is going to be about $17,000 plus, because once you take the truck off the frame, obviously you have to take the cab off in the bed, and you have to basically put a whole new frame under this truck. That's going to be $17,000. Now, this camper, when you think about it, it doesn't look that big, but this camper, I'm going to show it to you guys here on the website. That camper weighed just under 5,000 pounds. Now, you guys know what my channel is always about. I do this thing called Weight Watchers Truck Edition. And here's what the owner said that made me laugh so hard. And I feel so bad for this guy because it's not just him. So many people go to dealerships, go to RV dealerships, and they ask the salespeople, hey, what's the payload of this truck? Or what can this truck actually tow? That is the stupidest question to ask. And by the way, it's also stupid to even go online and look up towing numbers and payload numbers, because let's read what this guy did. So the first thing he says is, I did a lot of research. You didn't do enough. That's all I'm going to say. So here's what he says. I did a lot of research before buying the truck and the camper, and both the Ram dealer and the camper company where we bought it said it was the perfect truck. They said it should handle the load no problem. I knew the payload capacity on the truck was about 7,800 pounds, and the camper dry weight was close to 5,000 pounds, but fully loaded probably about 6,500 pounds. So that was the first problem. He went online and he basically said, okay, what is the max payload for this truck? And then he saw it said about 7,600 pounds. Well, if you look at the picture, that's a Cummins badge on the side of that truck. Keep in mind, it's a crew cab, and it looks like, I can't really tell from the pictures, but it looks like it's a Laramie trim. Those three things together, including the fact that I'm sure it's four-wheel drive, that 7,600 pounds probably became closer to 5,200 to 5,300 pounds. And add to the fact that he actually has an aftermarket bumper on that pickup too, which means he has less capacity than what it had on the door sticker. And let's do this really quickly. Let's go online. I want to show you guys the camper. That way you guys have an idea of this setup here, because I want you guys to see the weight, the length of it, things like that. Check it out. I'm on the manufacturer website for the camper. It looks like they have an F450 as an example here. And this is a big camper. It looks like it has 2 slides. Yeah, check this out. This is huge. Actually, it has 3 slides. 102-inch wide body. And just really quickly, it looks like it has a AC unit, nice couch out back, or theater seating really, and decent sized booth. Kitchen looks like something out of a travel trailer. Has a full bath, and check this out, beds up front. That is huge. So now you have a good idea of the RV. Let's take a look at the weight. This RV is 21 feet long. 21 feet long. Also, it has a fresh water capacity of 66 gallons. Most people using these RVs are more than likely going to be traveling with full tanks because, hey, you buy these to be out in the wild. And if anyone wants to do the math, what is the weight of 66 gallons of water? I'll pin your comment down below. And 30-pound propane tanks, you're going to have 2 of those. And then down at the bottom here, 4,917 pounds. That is a heavy camper. Now here's what I do. I love to go on websites and I love to find information and stuff like that. So here's what we're going to do. Manuals and brochures. So we're going to go to 2021 Eagle Cap Truck Camper. And what I like to do is I like to scroll all the way down. I don't want to see all the BS. I just want to say, okay, truck camper guide. Here it is. As clear as day. Now that is what you call a CYA. I don't care what you read about max payload, max towing capacity. Doesn't matter. It's a bunch of crap. It does not matter. Stop reading stuff online. Stop it. They literally, at the very bottom of the brochure, explain to you everything you need to know before you haul something this big. Oh yeah, and if you go on to any of the manufacturers for the trucks websites, they have a nice detailed look at everything too. And keep in mind, this F450 more than likely has less payload than the Ram 3500 that you guys just saw. But you don't know if this truck has 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. You don't know the options. You don't know how many passengers are in the truck. And to be completely honest with you, they could have just used this truck as an example, or this could be an F450 cabin chassis with a pickup truck bed on it. We don't know. So you can never say to them, well, the truck you had on the website wasn't able to haul something this big either, because most F450s with the 14,000 pound GWR have like less than 5,000 pounds. And as you saw here, this RV dry is 4,917 pounds, but it doesn't matter, like I said, because they cover their basis points. Here's how they do it. You can sometimes find this posted in the glove box of your truck. If not, another way to determine payload capacity would be to weigh your truck full of fuel and people, don't forget the dog, and then subtracting the weight from the gross vehicle weight rating. They give you the stuff right here. GVWR, it also has the axle ratings, and so they've covered their bases. They also show you exactly what to look for. Tires, payload sticker. The reason why I show this to you guys in every single video is to prevent people like this guy from having these issues. That's the only reason why I do this channel. It's because I feel like showing you the window sticker, showing you all the numbers on the door give you a good idea. So if you want to order a truck specifically, you can really have a good idea of the payload for that particular truck. But let's keep reading the article. The guy who owns the truck basically took it to a Ram dealership, and they basically told him that they've seen this happen plenty of times, allegedly. Probably have. And on top of that, they said if Ram were to fix the truck, or Mopar were to fix the truck, then they would basically give him a new frame, which means they would have to transfer the cab and the bed and all the components to the new frame. However, Mopar declined to fix this truck. So the owner asked, why did Mopar decline this? I mean, is there a specific reason? Service manager or service rep basically said, no, they just went by the load capacity of my truck. I remember a time when this guy was fighting me on payload capacity. And he kept saying that there's no merit to insurance companies denying claims and things like that. And he said that DOT is not going to pull over a camper because they don't care about campers. They worry more about people who are doing hot shot and hauling things for hire, basically. And I asked him, I said, well, let me ask you a question. If your truck would have a problem with the frame or the engine transmission, and the manufacturer asked you, have you been overloading your truck? What would you respond? And he basically said, I would lie. And so here's my point that I want to get across to you guys. Next year, GM and Ford are adding scales to their trucks. I'm telling you, you will never hear about people who have bad things happen to them. Typically, people do not want to talk about it. You know, most people will not get online and show you these types of things. I applaud this guy for doing this because this is helpful for everybody. What I want you to take away from this video is this. This can happen to you at any given time. Quite honestly, this could happen to you even if you're under your payload. That's why the warranty is there. Because if you ever have this happen and GM, Ford, Ram were to ever come back and says, hey, were you overloading the truck? You can say, well, here's what I tow. You guys be the deciding factor. I guarantee you, if you're within your payload capacity, your towing capacity, they can't do anything. They have to fix the truck. And who knows? This truck could have been defective. That is a very strong possibility. But we'll never know because he overloaded the truck. Because this is a Weight Watchers truck edition, we have to find a pickup for this camper. And I found the unicorn of all unicorns. Ram 3500 Tradesman, 6.4 liter Hemi. This is the best option for this type of setup here. But again, we don't know that until we put the numbers in the spreadsheet. So here we go. Here's your max payload at 6,646 pounds. Max towing is pretty low at 13,710 pounds. However, because this truck has a 373, that's why it's so low. But if you were to opt for the 410, it does go up pretty significantly to 17,210 pounds. Wait 1 second. Now, most of you guys probably remember me saying, do not get payload, things like that off of the websites. What I did was, the truck I showed you on Auto Trader, I pulled that VIN number. If you put the VIN number in on Ram's website, that gives you the actual payload. And what I normally do is, I'll try to find the truck in the spreadsheet that I'm showing you now to see what the max payload is. And then if it's lower, then I know that it's accurate. If it's higher, I know it's not. Or if it's the same, I know it's not accurate. So I wanted to make that point really quickly. Gross combined weight rating is going to be 21.5. And then here's just a little bit more information for you. If you're looking at something this big and heavy, 5,000 pounds of cargo for a camper or anything is kind of in cabin chassis territory. That's just my opinion, but this is the dry weight as you guys saw on the manufacturer's website for the camper. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is I do not see a gross vehicle weight rating, which tells me you can add just as much weight as you want. Like, I went through this thing and I did not see a gross vehicle weight rating for the RV. And maybe they don't have those for these types of campers. Be that as it may, we're going to add 1,500 pounds to this number here, okay? And that's going to give you 6,417 pounds. Even with just 2 passengers, a 200-pound male, 135-pound female, and 6,646 pounds of payload, you still exceed this thing because this RV is just too big for a regular pickup. I recommend cabin chassis 4500 or 5500 if you want to go crazy. Or if you want a camper like this, get a trailer that you can haul this on. I've seen guys do that all the time. I would actually recommend it if it's possible with the manufacturer versus putting this much weight on a pickup truck. Now in closing, all may not be lost with this guy. I do know that he's still waiting on insurance to see if maybe they might help a little bit. But if I was a betting man, I guarantee they're going to say no too. But the good news is this is a learning lesson for him and everybody. I always recommend you do your own research. And what I mean by that is don't just go based off of what they show you online. Go deep into the information. As I just showed you guys, even the RV manufacturer shows you gross fuel weight rating, payload capacity, tire capacity, axle ratings, and they actually even show you an example of what the stickers look like. Even with a tradesman gas dually, that RV is so big it would exceed it. I almost wonder why they even have one that big. Those things shouldn't even be over 4,500 pounds dry in my opinion. But if you want something that big, my opinion is get a cabin chassis or just get a trailer that you can tow it on. And that way you don't have to have so much weight on the truck. But I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure your bell notifications on. And I'll see you guys in the next video.